Hi there, it's Jared Plain and welcome back to another bass lesson. In this lesson we're going to look at the famous jazz standard I Love You and come up with a few walking bass ideas that we can use to play over the chord changes. To avoid issues associated with copyright, the melody will not be played during this lesson. As usual, we'll first look at the chords used in this tune. The first chord is G minor 7 flat 5, which has the notes G, B flat, D flat, and F, or the root, minor 3rd, flat 5th, and minor 7th. The next chord is C7 flat 9, which has the notes C, E, G, B flat, and D flat, or the root, major 3rd, perfect 5th, minor 7th, and flat 9. The next chord is F major 7, which has the notes F, A, C, and E, or the root, major 3rd, perfect 5th, major 7th. The next chord is A minor 7 flat 5, which has the notes A, C, E flat, and G, or the root, the minor 3rd, flat 5th, and minor 7th. The next chord is D7 flat 9, which has the notes D, F sharp, A, C, and E flat, or the root, major 3rd, perfect 5th, minor 7th, and flat 9. The next chord is G minor 7, which has the notes G, B flat, D, and F, or the root, minor 3rd, perfect 5th, and minor 7th. The next chord is B minor 7, which has the notes B, D, F sharp, and A, or the root, minor 3rd, perfect 5th, minor 7th. The next chord is E7, which has the notes E, G sharp, B, and D, or the root, major 3rd, perfect 5th, and minor 7th. The next is A major 7, A, C sharp, E, and G sharp, the root, major 3rd, perfect 5th, major 7th. The next chord is G7, G, B, D, and F, or the root, major 3rd, perfect 5th, minor 7th. And the final chord in the tune is E flat 7, E flat, G, B flat, D flat, or the root, major 3rd, perfect 5th, and minor 7th. Okay, so now that we've familiarized ourselves with the chords, let's get into the walking. I have prepared a chorus of walking bass lines over the chords to I Love You, and I'm going to play through it and then break it down so you can see exactly what's going on. So here we go. Before we look at the line, I want to talk about the most common ways of moving from beat 4 of the chord you're on to beat 1 of the new chord. This transition is very important. We'll use a 2-5 chord progression in the key of F major for this explanation. The first transition is by a tone above or a tone below the target note. So we'll use the note C as our target note. We can play B flat up to C, or we can play D down to C. The next transition is by minor second, so we can play B natural up to C, or we can play D flat down to C. The next transition is root to root movement. So we can play the G below the C and move up to the C. And we can play the G above the C and move down to the C. Those are the most common transitions between chords when we deal with 2/5s mostly. But also these types of changes can transition into other chords as well, as you'll see when we get into the explanation of this walking bass line. To save time in this lesson, I'm only going to look at the first 8 bars of this walking bass line. You can look at the rest in your own time. In bar 1, we're simply playing chord tones on the G minor 7 flat 5 chord. G, B flat, D flat, and F. To transition from the G minor 7 flat 5 chord to the C7 chord, we're playing the minor 7 on G minor 7 flat 5 on beat 4 of bar 1, and that moves down nicely to the major third on C7, which is the E natural. This is called a 7th to 3rd resolution and is a very common voice leading technique. To keep the minor sound, I'm playing the D flat note, which is the flat 9 on the C7 chord. E, D flat, C, B flat, and once again we're resolving from the B flat, which is the flat 7 on C7, to A natural in the next bar, which is the major third on F major 7. In bar 3, we're walking chromatically down to the flat 5th of the A minor 7 flat 5 chord. F, E natural, E flat on beat 1. We're playing the major third of the D7 chord, which is F sharp, on beat 4, which resolves nicely to the root note G on G minor 7 in the next bar. This is a 3rd to root resolution and is also very smooth sounding. This resolution can be used to resolve from dominant 7ths to both major and minor chords. In bar 5, we're playing chromatically up to the root on the C7 chord. Once again, we're playing chromatically up to the root of F major 7, but this time we're playing the flat 9 and sharp 9 notes on the C7 chord on beats 2 and 3 respectively. From there, we're playing chromatically down to the flat 5 on A minor 7 flat 5. On beat 2 of bar 8, we're playing C sharp as a passing note to the D7 chord. Now I know, I've probably thoroughly confused you with all of these fancy terms. If it sounded like I was speaking in Chinese, don't worry about it. Putting all of the technical analysis aside, remember that when it comes to playing walking bass lines, if it sounds good, it is good. Now go and write out some lines. That's all we have time for in this lesson. I really hope you enjoyed this lesson, and if you have any questions, comments or suggestions, please feel free to leave me a comment. Thanks very much and take care.